We're surrounded by movies and shows and ads and articles and magazine covers. They're all saying like, oh, lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Yeah. That kind of damage affects you for life.
Welcome to Powerhouse with Joyce. This is the International Women's Day Series 2026 with the theme Give to Gain. Joining us today is Jacqueline Tsang, the founding partner of Revamont. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you. Maybe we can start off with a quick introduction from yourself and also your current position.
Right. So as you said, I am the founding partner at Revamont. So that is a bespoke luxury travel company. And then before that, I was actually in luxury content and media all my life. So that includes upper management and chief editor roles at Style Magazine, at South China Morning Post. There was Home Journal, there was Taylor Asia, and then most recently even the Hong Kong Jockey Club. So it's a very different thing that I'm doing now, but it's lots of fun.
Yeah, an amazing journey. I've been following. I've known you quite a few years. Yes, and we've spoken to you before as well. But amazing journey as editor-in-chief, content creator, content director. This episode is in collaboration with S9 by Susanna Su, a Hong Kong-based contemporary women's wear that blends romantic femininity with functional modern design. There's got to be a lot of ups and downs. Maybe we can kind of talk about one particular challenge or turning point in your career that really made you thought about, the next step.
So I guess like maybe the transition from media and content to what I do now, it was quite a natural one because I think I spent almost 20 years kind of working with luxury brands, reviewing their products, their experiences, seeing their positioning change because they had to address how consumers were evolving, right? And then I think the more I was in the luxury world, the more I realized that it's not just about beautiful things anymore. And the more the harder I worked and the longer hours I worked, the more I came to realize that the greatest luxury is actually time, right? And it's not just time, it's quality time. It's quality time with your loved ones. Because the weirdest thing is like now, we know each other on social media as well, and you're more connected than ever before with the internet and social media, but you also feel more disconnected than ever before with your loved ones, right? Because I'm guilty of this myself. Have you ever shushed someone next to you so that you can check a notification on your phone?
That's true.
So I've done that. I'm guilty of it, and it's unfair, And I think that I realized I could be in a space where I could give that time to someone, that time and space where you don't have to put down your phone, but you want to put down your phone because you're enjoying the company of the person that you're with. Right. And I think, so that was a very natural transition where I realized by being in luxury travel, I could, first of all, leverage my expertise and my knowledge, but also be able to kind of create this wonderful setting in the Alpine region, which is where we focus on, and then just have people actually get that human connection again.
Is it a hard transition from the two different industries?
No, it was actually really nice. It was really natural. I'm still talking to exactly the same people, just on the other side of the table. Right. So, we're still talking to luxury media, obviously. We're still working with luxury brands. Now it's just a different conversation, but it's still the same nice faces.
That's great.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
And since it is a change in industry, do you feel like, did it take a while to set up and, work with the different founding partners and really get into the space? Yeah, I think we had a lot of discussions because I think at the beginning we wanted to agree and align on how we wanted to shape the company. So we knew we wanted it to have its different pillars. So we wanted an active pillar, a culinary pillar, a wellbeing pillar, a cultural pillar, because people all travel for some of the reasons or all of the reasons. Yeah. So we had a lot of discussions about that and how we wanted to make it different, right? So we focus on the Alpine region. We always have an experienced host tend to you 24/7. We have people who are actually from there, and that's why we know it so well. We know the place, and it's many, many secrets that you can't just find online through Google, right? Because if you Google hidden gems and you find a hidden gem, it is not a hidden gem. So exactly. I think that's something that we take pride in doing. And the good thing is, I think in terms of all of the co-founders, we each have our own corner, right? So there's someone who specializes in, sales and marketing. There's someone who does content and communications. Then there are people who, the heroes who take care of the logistics and admin and
behind the scenes stuff that I'm terrified of. So thank God for them. So it's really good. I think we each have our own corner. We each have our own world that we take care of. So it's good.
Throughout the years, you've really empowered and uplifted other female. This year's theme is Give to Gain. What does that particular theme mean to you?
I guess because in this world, right, especially in this day and age, people can be very protective of their things, of their assets, right? And I think when you say giving, it sometimes people get alarmed because it implies a certain loss. You know, they think they're losing something. But I also think that people forget that there's the intangible that you gain. So I think just by, for example, donating what you can afford to help someone in dire need of the basic necessities of life. Yeah, you're helping them. They're gaining from you security, safety, health, dignity, and knowing that should make you gain also a kind of like satisfaction and happiness. You know, that's something you gain. And then more simply, there are things that you can give for free. You know, your time, your knowledge, your care, your empathy, compassion. You know, these are things that don't cost you a thing to give, and it makes the world a better place, essentially. Yes, for sure. And everyone gains from that. So I think, to me, that's something that's, very, very resonant, your theme this year. So I think that's something it's great. I think people should talk more about it. Yeah,
for sure. And definitely when you mentioned about the business side as well, in terms of time and curating that time and quality time, I think that works very well with the theme is just being able to help others find that quality time.
Exactly.
As well. Throughout the years, you've taken on different roles, different leadership roles, and now you're a co-founding partner. How do you define leadership, and what are some of the qualities that you feel is most important?
I think personally as a leader, my leadership style is I care. I care deeply. Sometimes at the expense of myself. I need to set better boundaries. Right. But I think that's something that is very easy to give. And then I think people feel heard. People feel connected. And then, and also when you care about someone, they in turn breeds a certain kind of support and kindness, right? It's very unnatural for someone to be able to be toxic and cruel in a supportive environment, right? Right. So I think that when you show that to someone, it's a spiral. They show it to someone else, and then I think naturally you end up having a very compassionate and supportive workplace. And I think if you're a leader who is able to foster that kind of environment, then you're a very successful leader, because people, they work better when they're happy. That's it at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. And nowadays, I mean, it's becoming a bigger topic, which always should be the topic, but like women's health, women's well-being, and women, of course, empowerment that we've been talking about. How does those topics, how do you feel about the latest, I guess, trends and the way forward for that?
So women's health, and that's both physical and mental. It's always been it played a massive role in my life, right? I think growing up as a teenager in the 90s and noughties, that was when thinness was celebrated, right? And I think you really have to grow up in that time to know, we're surrounded by movies and shows and ads and articles and magazine covers. They're all saying lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Yeah. You remember, right? Yes. And I can't tell you, that kind of damage affects you for life. You carry that on with you. And I wasn't the only one that suffered, and I think that's what makes it so important. This generation, this incredible generation that is now promoting health over a body shape, because, then after that, we got the curves, right, from JLo. And then there's no way I can grow a butt like that. That is superhuman. Yes. But, it's not a body shape that is celebrated. It's health, and this discourse that they are advocating about mindfulness, I think that's so important, because it's teaching people how you talk to women, how you talk about women, and that women's bodies are their own. Right. It's their own business. You do not get to tell someone they're too fat or too skinny or too anything. Right. And I think that's so important, because we grew up, we didn't have that. That's something that this generation has given us. This is their gift, and it's freedom. Yeah. It is the freedom to be ourselves without having to be what someone else expects us to be.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And how do you see the various industries working together to promote that, or to kind of give more access to women in different industries and age group and all?
So I think that first of all, the messaging is already a lot healthier. If you look at ads, you look at their taglines or slogans, the models that they choose or the celebrities they choose, they tend to what I'm noticing at least, like in the luxury world, they tend to be a lot more open in their messaging, a lot more inclusive in their messaging. And then I think in terms of the products and experiences they offer, also it's very much in terms of like well-being and wellness now. And that's something that we found is really important in our world as well. Like people, they go to the Alpine region because naturally it's the high altitude, you have the clean mountain air, you're closer to the sun, the lake water is drinking quality, and but also, they just want to go there. They want to be able to relax and recharge, right? Because I think this year, Pinterest, like they realized their searches for quiet travel destination actually went up like 530%. It's more than 500. I can't remember how much, but people want to recharge. People want to relax and reconnect, right? And that's something that we're able to help them do because that is one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Yep.
And, it's our pleasure to be able to actually have people in a very secluded, intimate setting where they can actually connect not just to the place itself, but also to their loved ones and also to themselves.
Right. Yep. And what are some of the major next steps coming up this year for the company?
Oh, well, it should be fun. It should be a fun year. Let's put it that way. Nice. I think, so while we do bespoke trips, so it's entirely customized to your needs, your preferred times and everything, we do have some, what we call limited collections, and that's more tied to actual events that are happening, right? So, for example, the DP World Tour, so people who want to go experience that, they can not only go see it and have VIP access, but we can also organize it so that you're playing, with the competing golf pro the day before.
Wow.
So that kind of exclusive experience. Like obviously we can't change the dates of the DP World Tour, so that's why it's called the limited collection. But there are events coming up, and obviously in for example, the F1 world, the golfing world, there are lots of things happening that we are planning for. We're working with certain brands to have kind of customized collections for them, tailored to their brand values and to their VIP clients. Yep. So it's going to be an interesting year. I can't talk about it unfortunately because but it'll be fun. Yes, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
That sounds amazing. It must be so much fun to be able to come up with these and be part of the special events.
Yeah.
And how about personally? How do you feel for the next year or so? What are some of the goals, and what are your kind of, I think legacy is a strong word, but because you're so young, but in terms of what do you want to further advance in your career?
Career-wise, I think I'm on the right track. This is something that I love doing, and while it's still early days, obviously, it definitely feels like I'm in the right place, doing the right thing. Personally, good question. I think in terms of my whole career, like I've always been chasing kind of what I thought success was, right? Which is like, it was measurable. It was KPI-driven. Right. It was like, you always have to reach the top rung of your career ladder.
Right.
But I think that in recent years, like it started dawning on me, like, why do people do this? Because they're chasing fame, they're chasing power, they're chasing wealth, and they do it because they think that these things can make them happy, but the ironic thing is like in the chasing of these things, it can often like just cause a lot of stress and unhappiness to themselves and people around them. Right. Right. So I think that I'm going to short circuit that and just go straight to happiness. But because I think that that's something that to me is a much worthier thing to be chasing, rather than I think the kind of adrenaline fueled, next step thing of my youth. So now it's more just I want to be able to be present in the moment. Like you can still have the willingness to grow and discover, but it's also being happy in the now, right, that I don't think I've ever allowed myself to be, because it was always, your eyes always forward, you're always looking at the next thing, right? So hopefully this year I can start work on that.
That's great. Yeah, be present.
Yes,
and just
that's the idea.
Enjoy what's the journey. Enjoy the journey. Yeah.
That's the idea.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.